Hey everyone, before we dive in, if you're loving these real-life stories that hit right in the heart, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss one. Let's get into it. My mom dropped it softly, like she was reading a final judgment from a judge. Christmas is only for kids who behave. My little girl's fingers went stiff around her sippy cup of juice. Her bottom lip started shaking. "Grandma doesn't love me anymore," she whispered, barely loud enough to hear. "Hey, I'm Jessica Harper. I'm 32 years old." And right in that moment, something inside me clicked like a door locking forever. If you use my child to get back at me, you're done. You don't get access anymore. I sent one single text. "Got it. I'm canceling my card for the dinner." Less than 10 seconds later, Mom blasted it into the family group chat. Then her Instagram story popped up. Champagne glasses touching, twinkling lights, everybody smiling like nothing happened. Caption: Christmas with our real family red heart Christmas tree. I flipped off the kitchen lights, pulled my daughter into my lap and held her tight. "You don't have to earn love, baby," I whispered into her hair. "And if somebody forgets that, they don't get to be close to us anymore." They thought they could shame me on Christmas. Turns out they just handed me the perfect reason to end it. Before I go on, drop your city, state, or country in the comments so I know who's here with me tonight on Echoes of Life. People picture Christmas like a cozy hug, warm glow, gentle music, family just fitting together like it's the easiest thing in the world. But in my house growing up, Christmas came with a ranking system. Some people shone. Some people paid. I always knew which one I was. Every December turned into me filling the gaps. Groceries they were short on? Me. Bills they forgot? Me. Presents nobody wanted to admit they couldn't afford? All on my card. Every quiet thank you just turned into another invisible bill I had to pay later. This didn't start yesterday. Mom weaponized guilt like it was tinsel. Dad weaponized silence like it was totally fine. My brother treated my credit card like it was part of the holiday tradition. By the time I was 25, I was basically holding up every perfect Christmas they posted about. They only ever called me strong when they needed something. The second I needed anything back, they vanished behind the tree and the fake smiles. I kept telling myself this was normal, that families lean on each other, that the stress was just seasonal. But deep down I knew they leaned, I carried. They spent, I paid. When my daughter was born, I swore her holidays would feel different, soft, safe, no strings attached. But my mom didn't change, she just switched targets. If she couldn't control me anymore, she'd control my little girl with love she could take away. Hearing my baby whisper "Grandma doesn't love me" hurt worse than anything they ever did to me. It was like looking straight at my own childhood in the mirror. Trying so hard to be good enough for a hug, good enough for a seat at the table, good enough to be loved. That tiny whisper told the whole story. Same cut, just passed down quietly. And I realized if I stayed quiet now, my daughter would grow up thinking silence is how you show love. I'd carried their mess for decades. It wasn't touching her. Not ever. That night I sat at the kitchen table. The house was way too quiet for the week before Christmas. My daughter was asleep, her little star nightlight painting soft light on the wall. My phone kept lighting up. Pictures, videos, my family toasting with drinks and posing under a huge tree I helped pay for. I opened my banking app. Hand steady. No second guessing. Just clear, cold focus. I scrolled through the transactions first. Unauthorized charges everywhere. Little fees they never mentioned that added up fast. I read every single one, named it in my head. Naming takes the power away. Then I started cutting. Mom's profile gone. Brother's gone. Dad gone. Every linked card, every saved address, every autopay they forgot was even there, deleted. Restaurant account they used like free air, canceled. Reimbursement trick they treated like an ATM, frozen. Available balance for all of them, zero. While I worked, the group chat kept blowing up. Steak orders, chocolate desserts, bottles of bubbly. Everything still swiping happily on my card. Or so they thought. 14 minutes later the decline notifications started rolling in. One after another. Fast like breaking glass. Then my phone rang, unknown number. Picked up. "Miss Harper," the restaurant manager asked, voice gentle. "Your family's card keeps getting declined. They said you're on the way with a different one." I stepped out onto the balcony. Cold December air hit my face. "No," I said. "I'm not coming." And none of them are authorized anymore. Long pause. I could hear silverware and laughter in the background. Then he let out a slow breath. Like the whole picture just came into focus for him. I understand, he said. Thank you. The second I hung up, the group chat lost its mind. What did you do? This isn't funny. Fix it right now. I didn't answer. For the first time in my life, I didn't jump in to clean up their mess. My daughter stirred on the couch, Disney songs playing low on the TV. She looked up sleepy. Mommy, are they mad at us? They're mad because they didn't think there'd be consequences, I told her. Are we in trouble? I kissed the top of her head. No, baby. We're safe. And that's when it hit me. Not their panic but my calm. I wasn't shaking. I wasn't scared. I wasn't racing to save anybody. I felt free in a way I hadn't since I was a kid. Their Christmas disaster wasn't my emergency anymore. If your family pulled this on you, what would you do? Drop a 1 in the comments if you'd stay quiet to keep the peace. Drop a 2 if you'd let the consequences do the talking. Half an hour later the manager called again, voice tighter. Miss Harper, they're refusing to leave. We need your okay to move forward. I stood still in the hallway, red and green lights blinking through the window. I grabbed my coat, slipped my phone in my pocket and walked out. No running, no panic. This wasn't my chaos to fix. 15 minutes later, I walked into the restaurant lobby. Warm air, holiday music, melting everywhere. It looked like a postcard until we got to their table. They weren't sitting anymore. They were surrounded. People whispering, phones out, recording under the big chandeliers. My sister stood with her arms crossed, acting like she was the one wronged. My brother was yelling at a waiter who looked 2 seconds from walking out. And my mom, mascara running, napkin balled up in her fist, Christmas bracelets shaking on her arm. The second she saw me, she lunged and grabbed my wrist hard. Sophia, cut it out right now. Put the card back on. We look like fools. Her voice trembled with pure rage and that familiar, I deserve this attitude. I stayed perfectly calm. You made yourselves look like fools the second you told my little girl she wasn't welcome. She blinked hard, totally thrown. Then the old demanding tone came roaring back. You have to let this go. It's Christmas. Christmas is about forgiving people. I looked straight at the manager. Go ahead and run the tab through my account, I told him. But only for the food that's already on the table. None of the champagne, none of the fancy desserts, none of the extras they tacked on after I left. The manager gave a quick nod, clearly glad someone was finally making sense. My sister let out a dramatic gasp. My brother muttered something ugly under his breath. Mom looked like she'd forgotten how to breathe. You don't get to make that call, she finally choked out. I locked eyes with her. I just did. When you toss people aside like trash, you don't get to keep the perks that come with them. She actually took a step back like my words had physically shoved her. At the next table, a lady quietly mouthed, yes. The manager finished running the bill. I signed it without a single tremble. Clean, simple, done. I turned to walk out. Mom chased me into the hallway, clutching her handbag like she wanted to swing it. Sophia, you can't possibly mean all that stuff you said earlier, right? I faced her completely steady. Mom, I haven't even gotten started. For the first time ever, she looked at me like she was seeing a stranger. The elevator dinged. I stepped in slow, eyes still on hers, letting the quiet stretch until it hurt. Just before the doors slid shut, she whispered, "What are you going to do?" I didn't answer. Some things you don't explain, you just show. That Christmas night, they didn't just lose a credit card. They lost the old version of me who always bailed them out. The next morning started way before the sun came up. My phone was blowing up, Mom first, then my brother, then Dad, all suddenly in crisis mode. Funny how fast people care when their lifestyle is on the line. Part 5, Locked Accounts, Lawyers, and Fallout. I poured my daughter a bowl of cereal, packed her school folder, double-knotted her sneakers while she sang a little holiday tune and kicked her feet against the chair. For once, the chaos wasn't inside our 4 walls. At 10:14 a.m., the bank manager called. Miss Carter, your mom and brother are here raising hell because their names are off the accounts. We told them it's permanent. They're not taking it well. I took a slow sip of coffee. Tell them to call my lawyer, not me. I already did, he said quietly. 11:02 a.m. My brother sent a picture. The 3 of them standing in the bank lobby looking like kicked royalty. Text under it, fix this. Now, 2 years ago that would have crushed me. Today it just felt like the scales finally tipping. 12:45 p.m. Phone rings while I'm warming up leftover spaghetti. Miss Carter, this is Linda from Family Counseling. Your mother booked a mediation session and put you down as attending. I actually laughed out loud. They didn't ask me, did they? Well, they said you were on board. Then please mark me as a hard no. No sessions ever. Thanks. While I rinsed the pan, it finally clicked. They didn't want peace. They wanted the money faucet turned back on. 3:17 p.m. Aunt Karen FaceTimes me, no hello, straight into it. Sweetie, your mom is beside herself. How could you do this at Christmas? Have you no heart? I kept my voice even. Aunt Karen, did they tell you they told my daughter Christmas is only for good little girls? Did they mention she cried in my arms because grandma didn't love her anymore? Did they mention they ran up a huge dinner bill on my card after doing that? Long silence. No, they left those parts out. Of course they did. I hung up and blocked her too. 5:51 p.m. Mom tries a new move. Video call holding my daughter's old baby blanket like a hostage negotiation prop. Families argue, honey. We don't need to bring money into this. Just put everything back the way it was. I stayed soft but firm. You're only crying because I stopped paying for you to be cruel. I ended the call while she was still mid-sob. 9:28 p.m. Text from my attorney. It's time. I sat at the kitchen counter, laptop open, my little girl asleep down the hall under her pink nightlight. Every shared account, oh it's fine permission gone. Fully legally severed. Ready to send the final notice? He asked. I stared at the cursor blinking over 30+ years of rescuing them. Then I clicked send. 1 second and a lifetime of invisible bills paid in full. Part 6. A life with real walls, the good kind. Cutting them off wasn't revenge. It was the first time I ever fixed something for myself. Dad called the next morning. No yelling this time, just exhausted. Sophia, your mom hasn't stopped crying. Your brother says he's never been so embarrassed. They feel like you betrayed them. I watched the steam curl off my tea. I felt betrayed for 32 years, Dad. You all just never looked close enough to notice. He didn't fight back. There was nothing left to grab onto. I'm not cutting you guys out, I said quietly. I'm cutting myself loose. The silence on the line finally sounded honest. That afternoon I took my daughter to the winter garden, crisp air, twinkling lights strung through bare trees. She held my hand tight, hopping over every puddle, laughing like the world was brand new. We bought ice cream at 9:30 in the morning just because we felt like it. No guilt, no lectures, no conditions. She stopped under a tree and pointed. Mommy, look, the butterfly's fighting its way out. Something tight in my chest finally let go. That was us. Pushing out of the old story, leaving the dark cocoon behind, choosing soft over sharp. That night Mom sent one text. We didn't realize how much you'd been carrying. We'll figure it out. I read it twice, set the phone down and left it on read. Healing isn't a race. It's a line in the sand, and this time the line stayed put. Christmas didn't feel like a wait anymore. It felt real. It felt ours. My little girl climbed into my lap, cheek against my sweater. Are we okay now, Mommy? I kissed the top of her head. We're better than okay, baby. We're finally free. I didn't lose a family that Christmas. I gained a future my daughter can count on, no conditions attached. If this one hit home, give it a thumbs up. Share it with anyone who's tired of carrying the whole load. And subscribe to Echoes of Life so you catch the next chapter. See you in the next one.